Oakland Cemetery can be found close to the north side of Iowa City. This land has been around since 1843. However, it's what's inside this cemetery that keeps bringing people back. There is a statue here that's become known as the Black Angel. This statue is so notorious in the area that people flock to get a view of it. However, it's not known for a good reason. Standing at over 8.5 feet tall or 2.6 meters, the Black Angel was erected in 1913, and ever since it's been shrouded in mystery. Many locals are superstitious and believe the statue can bring bad luck. It gets a lot of visits by people who either want to admire it or want to see the statue behind the legend. Interestingly, it's said that if you kiss or even touch the Dark Angel, you will be struck with incredibly bad luck. There have even been stories floating around that people have had bad luck after visiting the statue. One person named Claire had a particularly bad experience. She said the following: "After hearing about the Dark Angel from friends, I decided to visit the cemetery on my own. I'm not really someone who gets scared by these things, so I wasn't worried about anything happening. When I was young, I did have a few strange encounters, but they haven't really put me off. And if anything, experiencing this kind of stuff has made me more interested. A few years back, I visited the Black Angel and touched its gown. I was surprised at how tall it is. If I had to guess, I would say it's over 7 feet. Fast forward a couple of weeks and I noticed that bad things kept happening in my life. For example, every time I got in someone's car it would break down. My TV kept turning off without any apparent reason, lights would flicker in the house and many other things. One of the worst ones was when I came home and noticed random damp spots in my house. These wet spots would appear in different locations and neither me or the specialist could figure out what was happening. This went on for around 9 months and after this it started to stop. I have no idea what was happening in my life during this time. Regardless, I still believe to this day it had something to do with the Dark Angel. Going back to the statue, some locals refused to even go near it, saying that if you do, something bad will happen. As of today, the Black Angel is still standing and still attracting paranormal seekers. This mysterious grid-like structure has been spotted off the coast of Cyprus. I've recently been sent a few emails in regard to this, and when first looking at the structure it does look strange. Not much information is known about it, but the few people that have seen it have voiced their opinions. One person said it could be some type of station situated in the ocean. What most people can agree on though is that it does look artificial in nature. One person commented that it reminded them of a similar looking object. We have featured this object in a previous video and it's simply known as the grid anomaly. Back in 2011, an interesting post was made by a user that noticed strange and unusual ocean floor grid patterns that seemed to be artificial in nature. This grid appeared to span 60 miles in width and 65 miles in length, and had numerous different right angles all across its formation. The post then goes on for several more paragraphs talking about how the carvings all throughout the area appears to be artificially created, with what is described as being similar to that of paved streets, walkways and a number of smaller squares all throughout the region. What's strange is that they all seem to have 90-degree angles, and look like modern-day property lots. At first, many rejected the discovery, and believed the entire finding was nothing more than conflicting terrain maps, compiled together by satellite data. However, the information surrounding the heights and depths of the terrain was not that of overlapping satellite information. Additionally, in the comments following the thread, many others began pointing out similar discoveries of these strange grid-like patterns found in many different parts of the ocean, and have said it could be something historical. To this day, there still appears to be no explanation on the matter. It's well known that lightning can be dangerous. Although the survival rate is actually quite high, it's been estimated that around 240,000 people are injured by lightning strikes each year. This particular storm cut power from 3 terminals at Los Angeles International Airport, and even a plane got hit. Luckily, no one was injured, but the plane did have to make an emergency landing. Meteorologists have called this phenomenon the atmospheric river. An atmospheric river is a narrow corridor that pushes a large amount of moisture into the area. Interestingly, a few people have come forward and said that during these lightning strikes they could hear loud booms. Just to clarify, residents weren't referring to the shock waves of thunder, but rather a different kind of noise. They said that it sounded like the booms that were being heard in the country a little while back. These loud booms were heard in many towns across the US. In Pennsylvania, residents had been hearing them for months. It even got to the point where authorities got involved. Authorities asked that those who noticed anything odd to call the police immediately, and not to investigate on their own. What's strange is that no one seems to be able to identify where the noises are coming from, or what was making them. The majority of people reported that the sounds happened between 1 AM and 4 AM. Local police have been receiving reports of the sound since early April last year. Since the booms have been happening, there have been many theories, but as of today none of these have been proven. What's odd is that usually when these sort of things happen, it's normally only a handful of people who witness it, but in this case the numbers go into the thousands. Suggestions for what's causing the noises range from secret government crafts to an unknown natural phenomenon. Wheat Ridge Police Department spokesperson said police are likewise baffled. They had this to say: "We've had descriptions that are everything from a transformer blue to a sonic boom that you might hear when a jet passes overhead. The challenge for us is that there isn't any evidence of what this could be. These noises are still being heard all around the world, and we still have no definitive answer of what's causing them." The Large Hadron Collider can be found 17 miles underneath the border of Switzerland and France. It's currently the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator. This giant machine was first started up on the 10th of September 2008 and remains the latest addition to CERN's complex. The Large Hadron Collider consists of a 27-kilometer ring of superconducting magnets, with a number of accelerating structures to boost the energy of the particles along the way. CERN, the European Physics Research Centre, recently upgraded the Large Hadron Collider. The upgrade comes 6 years after the collider managed to provide scientists with answers to a riddle when it confirmed the Higgs boson exists. Now that scientists have discovered and identified the Higgs boson, they are now trying to unravel another mystery. This comes in the form of particles from the dark world. The researchers are now trying to make measurements and simulations of dark matter. So what is dark matter? Scientists are quite open about this and have expressed they don't really know what it is. According to some studies, dark matter makes up around 85% of the matter in the universe. Though this strange form of matter or energy can't be observed, by understanding the movement of stars, it was made obvious to researchers that there was a large amount of mass not accounted for within our galactic supercluster. This hidden mass would ultimately need to make up roughly 80% if it was to be able to hold the elements of our Milky Way galaxy and other galaxies together. Understanding what it is, why it can't be detected, and all of its strange properties could be the key to understanding big questions about the nature of our universe. Interestingly, one physicist said the following about the discovery. One particularly interesting possibility is that these long-lived dark particles are coupled to the Higgs boson in some fashion, and that the Higgs is actually a portal to the dark world. Some, however, have expressed their concerns about doing these kinds of tests, further saying that we're messing around with things we don't really understand. It's no secret that humans don't understand how the universe works, and there have been concerns over the years that something bad could happen if we carry on experimenting. Regardless, the Large Hadron Collider is still going to be updated, and it's thought this is going to cost in the region of $953 million. Over the years, there have been many mysterious discoveries. One of these has become known as the Al-Nasala rock formation. This can be found in Saudi Arabia. The region where this mysterious rock formation is found is thought to have been inhabited since ancient times. The rock's most notable feature is the perfect laser-cut line going down the middle. As you can imagine, one of the first things that people said was, how did this cut come to be? Researchers, however, have come forward and said they have an idea of how the crack was formed. They think that what most likely happened is the ground underneath the rock shifted. This slight movement caused the rock to split. However, there is another place that's said to be carved by lasers, and it's known as Pumapunku. Found in Bolivia, this mysterious site has caused controversy for many years. Archaeologists that have studied the ruins have said that an ancient civilization used to live here, and they even predated the Mayans. After doing research, the specialists discovered the region was a flourishing centre for pre-Columbian culture. However, recent discoveries of monolithic structures suggest this civilization may date back as much as 12,000 years earlier. To this day, Pumapunku is one of the world's most mysterious ancient sites. One theory that many throw around is, did this ancient civilization have help building these structures? The mystery lies in the precision of the structures, with even some researchers saying the early civilizations wouldn't have been able to achieve this. When looking over the slabs, you can see finely cut doorways and large stone doors that have no chisel marks. What's interesting as well is that these giant structures seem to interlock with very fine precision. According to Jason Yago, who's a professor of anthropology at the University of Wisconsin, the city was already abandoned when the Incas conquered the area in 1470. On the first day of spring at Pumapunku, the sun can be observed rising through the centre of the giant temple. Another interesting fact about the site is that it's located at an altitude of nearly 5,000 meters, meaning Pumapunku is actually located above the natural tree line, and this makes it hard to understand how the giant stones were transported here. According to the legends of Pumapunku, their elderly claim that the first people of Pumapunku were not like ordinary humans. They say these were humans with supernatural powers. They believe these powers helped them carry these megalithic stones through the air, using sound vibrations. The largest stone block that's been found at Pumapunku is 7.8 meters long and 5.1 meters wide. It's estimated it weighs around 131 metric tons.